Hey tribe, it has been an amazing weekend and I am calling it quits. Um, but before I settle in, there's been a message that's been meaning to come out um, that I should have put out at the very beginning. And that message uh, is about intention. Intention and reintegration. They are the main focuses of dealing with plant medicine, with metaphysical energy, with um, how you perceive what's going on around you, and how that perception changes as a result of um, microdosing with ayahuasca, copy vine. But before anything else, she is absolutely plant medicine and a conscious vine. So, as such, a communion happens, and that communion should be celebrated. Celebrated with intention. Now, intention should always be set before medicating with any plant medicine or earth medicine, or actually anything you take into your body, any kind of energy that's surrounding you. All of those things have an impact on the energetic body, so and the spiritual self. So before accepting medicine, please set your intention. It is the one and only thing that separates intentional ascension from recreation, using medicine inappropriately just to, catch a kick or what have you. So, intention, there it is. Integration would be the second that we've got to talk about. There's so many persons that get to the point where they involve themselves with plant medicine and have their aha moments, and as soon as they get back into what we call the 3D, back home, back into the same circumstances that they had before they left, they fall back into those same routines. The main recovery to that is integration. You have got to reconnect with medicine. You've got to reconnect with the container of persons that you experience medicine with, or the shaman, or take it upon yourself to learn about what you're going through. And that brings me to another subject of integration from what? Honestly. And integration, what we're talking about is integrating yourself, your new self, with, I guess, your success over the old self, right? So, success over one's ego, success over one's emotions, success over one's traumas. Integration from who? Integration from Christina, right? Because when someone looks to heal themselves, regardless of the avenue of healing, there is two very prevalent perceptions. Metaphysical medic is a ministry and a clinic and a healing modality that is specializing in energy. Metaphysics, what cannot be touched, versus physics, or what is physical, what can be touched. So you're looking at faith, energy, intention, and action as made to manifest what you want in this life. And so whatever's keeping you from that is the shadow work that's necessary to be done, so that perceptions can be cleared, so that success can be had over old concepts or old behaviors or old experiences that you understand that it's time to leave behind. So to do that is a very personal experience from someone that's come back from combat and fallen into just a myriad of different experiences, emotional experiences that just a lot of people go through when they've been jarred. So however that jarring took place, I've been in the business for 30 years, and I've heard 1,000 just tragic or horrible stories about what people have experienced in this life. And to really put that into perspective, one has to look at one's self honestly and look at how they can help heal self, because they're the only ones that know the truth. I am the only one that knows my truth, right? So for Christina to look inside and see her truth and say, hey, this might be something that we could stand correcting, is what shadow work is. Now, I'll give you an example. Catch me. An example is this coffee right here, right? Everybody knows that I love coffee, and I probably always will. But over the last few videos, I've noticed in editing and posting and what have you that I mention coffee a lot. That it's like, put in your coffee, or drink your coffee, or I love my coffee, or coffee. And I'm like, maybe that is the opportunity for me to correct something in self or to improve myself, right? So to recognize that, and then to recognize that I can take a little bit more time and look into things and review honestly whether or not coffee is playing too large a role in my life. The answer is absolutely yes. So the different things that you can look at doing, and I've looked at doing, is going half and half with the caffeine and the decaf and the coffee pot, and just simply making the choice to put action into my manifestations of health and to change my behavior, right? And so with this, it's very hard to change behaviors because trauma is trauma. It's not no shit, right? And to get over it is an amazing exercise in self a lot of times. So to be honest with yourself, and even in the AA programs, it's like, you have to atone for the things that you've done. And when you're talking about spiritual recovery, I mean, you have 12 steps, you have, going to groups, and you have these things. And that is a part of traditional recovery, one that has saved a zillion lives, right? Blessings. There's also the spiritual context of that recovery, right? So what it is with your higher power, yourself, and your connection with the highest power that is helping you to rediscover self, right? And to rediscover self, one has to get back to knowing one's self. And that is to take a real look at the energy that I'm putting out into the world. What am I putting out into relationships? What am I putting out into building my abundance? What am I putting out into my spiritual connection? What am I putting out towards reducing my stress, being more healthy, and keeping positive and beautiful energies in my surroundings? And also holding boundaries for those other energies that I'm better served to release. There's one thing I've learned about relationships and mental and spiritual health is that relationships you can be guaranteed that they will change. The intentions you have when coming into a relationship have a fundamental importance about how that relationship is going to fare. Now, every relationship that happens either ends or stalls or dies or is reborn. And sometimes all of those things. So to think that two people can get together and truly be their everything, that everything's going to be perfect is just when you yourself are not perfect. That just is irrational. So to understand those energies that you're putting out and to notice who you're putting it out to and what those energies, what those people are putting back and contributing to the relationship in return. So to see all those things and to make those judgments, those spiritual interpretations or energetic interpretations of the experiences and the energy that's coming in is really something that one gains some clarity over once they've released themselves from things that no longer serve, especially drugs and alcohol, or toxic relationships, or unsatisfying jobs, or unsatisfied perceptions of self that lead people into reckless behavior. So to understand that someone is in that situation is really when they're kind of like that bing that goes on, and when you recognize that, that is the time and that is the space of when you can begin to choose the energy that is filling your container. What music are you listening to? What kind of food are you eating? What kind of talk is going into your brain from the people that surround you? What kind of contributions or responsibilities shared, or are you responsible for, or is the responsibility being left to you to balance relationships? All of those things. And once I realized that I really needed a rebalancing in my energy, is when you take control of what you can control. And the only thing that you can control is yourself. Check or hold. Check. That is the only thing you have full control over. Whether or not I'm going to drink this bottle of water because I don't like that I drink so much coffee, and to admit it, that to actually the fucking globe, that I drink too much coffee, and I'm not perfect, and other things have the potential of lighting up my life also. But to choose to make that choice, be proud of that choice, and then continue to position that energy in a way that targets your highest and best. Now, energy can come from anywhere. It can come from the water I'm drinking, the music I'm listening to, the food that I eat, or the sun. Nature, herbs, all of those things. Energies can come from crystals, the moon cycles, the water. And recognize that all of those energies can truly be harnessed in order to contribute to our highest and best, our health and our recovery. That also comes with what's called shadow work. Now, shadow work is really the spiritual recovery theme. What that is seeing something in someone else that makes you upset, emotionally imbalanced in self, and causes a response, right? Now, it's the nature of that response that we're looking at. One can respond with a bazooka, or one can respond with I hear you. I hear that you're upset, or I hear that you're whatever, and I give you my attention. You know, two very different energies. And I'll tell you, when coming from military sector, the bazooka is generally what we start with. You know, there's no time for bullshit, right? There has to be time, because people have feelings and relationships have got to be tended to. Having adequate closure in relationships, or having a good foundation when starting relationships. And that has to do with your personal self and how much you've felt the need to work on yourself so that you attract better into your life. Like attracts like. So if your container is filled with anger, or it's filled with jealousy, or it's filled with sorrow, or disappointment, or anxiety, fear, you know, confusion. Those are things that really alert someone to the fact that my container needs my attention, right? So the one thing, given that we have control over ourselves, absolute control over ourselves, what comes out of our mouth, what comes out of our behaviors, and what is built with our hands is all up to us. Where you spend your time, where you spend your energies. Are your energies going towards goals, or are they going towards the dumpster, you know, with 3D interests? You know, this life and this experience is essentially a school where we learn how to become closer to sovereign through the experiences and lessons that this life has to offer. So to understand that navigating those energies takes some awareness. It takes some awareness to understand that you don't feel good and to roll around the rug with your dog. To understand, one of my favorites is Christmas carols. Anytime during the year, if I don't feel as happy as I could, I'll absolutely listen to Christmas carols. It could be Easter. I don't care. I love it. I love Christmas. It makes me so happy, and it changes my mood. Energy in food. Have you ever put a fresh baked pie in front of a young man? You know, it just brings delight, and that energy can be consciously built and contributed to your relationships with just a little bit of time. Helping people to feel loved and secure in your relationships does one of two things. It elevates you in the tribe. One, you're popular, you're attractive, you're supportive, and you're someone that is attractive to keep around. Two, it helps you to circumvent other energies that could come in and want to cause some malice, you know, some disruption, right? If you keep the energy that's leaving you in a loving frequency, in a supportive frequency, then the love that returns to you, like attracts like. It's that same frequency that you can enjoy in your own life. And it truly is wonderful when, it was wonderful when I was able to get the fuck over myself. Honestly, to understand that my emotions weren't a big deal, and what they were was actually an obstacle in achieving the things that I wanted to achieve. They were distracting, they were upsetting, and they weren't subject to my highest and best. So what that is, pulling in that energy and then transmuting it through changing self, is called alchemy. It is alchemizing energy that is given to you with whatever intention, to alchemize it become a better person, and use it to expand your own personal growth, especially after trauma. My God, it is life-changing to understand that energies are a tool that you can use. Sage, used by the Indian tribes, used by the Catholic Church, used by the Ghostbusters, man. I mean, it's just, there are several options that are around us in this world that can help us to really process energy and become more spiritually and emotionally mature, so that our actions don't ripple and cause obstacles in our future. I like to tell the vets, hey, when reintegrating into the civilian sector, especially over the first few years, you're going to want to sidestep the ego in order to acclimate. And if shit is thrown at you, you're really gonna just circumvent with bias. You are going to circumvent with extreme bias, because in the event that you get pulled in to that energy exchange, then that's something that energy exchange is going to do. It sticks to you, right? So the next day you might have a black eye from that experience. You might have lost your wallet. You might have pissed your girlfriend off. You might have done all these things, anything, with how you respond to that energy. So go ahead and dodge it, and give us your best moves, because what you're doing when you do that is to truly remove yourself from the impact of those energies down the line, thus doing yourself some serious favors in the things that you'll have to deal with. Because when you're dealing with that, you're not dealing with finding your divine partner. You're not dealing with growing your legacy. You're not dealing with cultivating your relationships and finding your highest and best truth, peace, and joy in this life. So go ahead and think about the energies that are coming in and the energies that are going out, and how you want to deal with those in a very patient and a very loving and open way, so you can take this lesson that you're being confronted with in this life and transmute it into making it become something that is better suited for your experience. And this is where Grandmother Copyvine comes into play. When it comes into the spiritual recovery of things, she is going to lend that support and lend that honesty that helps you look at yourself, so that you can make those loving judgments and changes of your behavior, your thoughts. When you're talking about negative energy, whether it's whatever one can be experiencing, addiction, or negative sexual attachments, or energetic attachments with foul family, or bosses, or whatever that is, to look at them and to say, hey, I would like this change. And then to start to meditate or look into the ways that those can change subtly, so that big impacts are made over time without revolutionizing your experience. The difference between, the definitions of evolution and revolution, either you're going to take this energy and you're going to evolve with it, you're going to flow with it, you're going to go with where those waves take you without trying to backpedal through it, because there's a lesson that needs to be learned. So pay attention and learn it. Do your best to get through it without too much collateral damage, so you can go ahead and experience the success that comes from the other side. If you have any questions about spiritual energy, about how to take the energy that's coming into your life and transmuting it into a healthier or more impactful or successful energy, go ahead and let us know. Grandmother Coffee Vine can help you really de-stress and release negative baggage that is hanging on to you and causing you to do different things that will have negative impacts down the line, cost impacts through fighting or divorce or drinking stress away or whatever. You can see those things in self and simply choose to make that change. Empty your container of those things and fill it with the highest and best intention for all involved. Fill it with forgiveness. Fill it with love so that we all can really integrate into a higher and better experience in this life as a collective. All of us together and enjoying life more so than we would by ourselves. Give us a call if you have any questions on how to do that. We also do chakra balancings, negative energy removals, and replacing the negative replacing that negative energy with the true after the ayahuasca oil massage in the clinic. So it's an amazing experience. Please come check us out if you have any of these questions and concerns about your own energy or how to change it. And until then, happy shadow work collective. You deserve it. Go ahead and earn it. We love you. And Metaphysical Medic out.